Hello, 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 everyone. Oh my goodness, I know it's been a while. But if for those who have never listened to these little bites before, I can come in and out, or go stretches without, any updates, depending on what is going on at EDD. So, have you received your notice? Has anyone received their notice to prove that they were self-employed when they filed for the DUA claim, and all in the requesting of all the other documents? That's all the calls that I received today, that I received yesterday. People are frantic and don't understand what's going on. So let me shed a little light. When the pandemic first hit, the instructions that EDD received from the government top officials, not only in California but all through the U.S. Pay them. Let's get some relief. Let's do what we can and do it immediately. We're not scheduling determinations. We were just doing exactly what they told us to do, and that is pay. But in the initial application, there is a small little line, or was a small little nuance in there that said, at any time we can, and I'm not repeating it verbatim, but it did say that we would come back and check for eligibility. Well, the day of reckoning has come, and I am amazed, and forgive my neighbor's child who's screaming in the background, but I am amazed at how shocked claimants seem to be. I mean, were we really under the assumption that this wouldn't come back to bite? Oh my goodness, did we really think that people were just going to get these massive amounts of money with no questions asked? Has the government ever just given anything without some repercussion? So now I'm having people call. Well, they want the tax forms from 2019. Now, if you filed in 2020, then we need the information from 2019. What we're trying to establish is a recent connection to the job market. We need to see business license, business address. If you're renting an office, we need to see that rental lease, taxes, of course, invoices, the notarized letter. The notarized letter is to come from someone who has received your service. If you're a maid, then the person whose house you clean, or maintenance, or whatever it is. Because I have seen the worst taxes, IDs provided just to get this money. People wrote in their taxes, in the lines, wrote in. Everyone's a hairstylist and a barber. Things that they feel is untraceable, that are, these careers that are untraceable. And, all this fabricating of addresses. You're calling from the East Coast, you're filing in California, you give 000 your phone number or whatever, but we can see the number you're calling from when you call. We can tell by the numbers of the social security number. And of course, just because you have an out-of-state social security number does not mean that you don't live in the state of California, but we check in. And all those tax documents, well, here are my tax documents. Some of you are loud and proud presenting these tax documents, but if the IRS says that there's no records matched, we know they're fake. All you barbers and everything, don't think that we're not running it through the Department of Consumer Affairs. We are checking licenses. And even if you do have a license, it does not mean you're recutting if those tax documents do not match what the IRS is saying. How dare people call and they're like, well, I don't understand. One lady told me today, her application, I'm looking at it. Oh, well, I chose the wrong application. I filed a UI, a regular UI, but they gave me a DUA. That's what she said. I said, well, on the website, one side said filing a regular UI claim, and the other gave you the option to file a pandemic claim. Oh, I said, and you said you were self-employed, unemployed, self-employed. Oh, well, what I really meant was that I'm a housewife. I just bet you did. And so she says, well, and I'm sorry if I sound sarcastic, but the sarcasm comes from there were so many people who were unable to get help. There were so many people who still need help. And when I think of those who really deserved it versus these children, and I'm calling them children because I can tell that they're young and they're calling from southern states, and I call from California too. Hi, ma'am. Um, I lived in California. What's your driver's license number? You lived here for 3 years and you don't have a California issued driver's license or social? I never had it changed over. That's not how California works. And you worked here? You drove it? Really? Okay. And then you run them, and they have claims of a claim filed at the same time that they're calling out here to file a claim. You guys can only imagine. Fraud is fraud. Some is worse, but it's all fraud. So the question still is, did we really think this money was going to go out and no one was going to follow it or get it back? Some people did it in their own name. The majority of people didn't even steal identifications. They used their own, got cocky with it. So I posed the question to management. I said, well, what happens to the people who had their identities stolen, who really didn't file the claims? What about them? There are no answers for that right now. All I can say is that it's going to be a lengthy process to prove that the claim wasn't filed or that it was fraudulent. By all means, file a police report, file a fraud report. If you find out that this is you, but then don't file false police reports or fraud reports, because we'll still find out. Some people have dug themselves into a hole. I've seen 65,000. I've seen just massive amounts of money collected. Now you got to pay it back with 30% interest. I'm trying not to judge, but some people were just blatantly greedy and evil with it. And it's unfortunate that for however amount of time, the good people, or the deserving people, will have to suffer because of the actions, the greed of other people. So I am just leading the pack, tracking them down, doing whatever I can to help, to try to get some kind of vindication for those who were wronged in all of this, who made it harder. God forbid this happens again. Anyway, if you received the notification to provide the documents, by all means do so. Do so as soon as possible. If you don't have everything on hand immediately, call us. We have the ability to extend the deadline. But it depends on who you get on the phone, because some people may not do it. But we do have that ability to extend the deadline. Best of luck to everyone. I really hope this works out for the good, But it's not going to go away. It's not in the 30%. I'm hearing that it could be increased, depending on the situation. So if you know someone who received the notice, if you received the notice, act on it immediately. And if you don't have any documentation, if you were one of those who just, who thought, Okay, I'm gonna get mine because my neighbor or my cousin got theirs, and they giving it away. No, it wasn't. They didn't give. We didn't give anything away, and I say we as an EDD employee, but I know none of the money was mine. I never treated the money as if it was mine. If you deserved it, you deserved it. Um, but if you didn't, and you have no proof, and keep in mind before you go calling up, your uncle, can you do these taxes for me? And can you do? They have to be matched with the IRS. Okay, there is no more falsifying documents. If you're wrong, you're wrong. Get on a payment plan. But this soundbite rather, should let you know, yes, it is happening. We thought it would be 2 or 3 years down the road before people were exposed, but no, it's happening now. Get your papers, get your intent, and best of luck. If anyone has any questions, I will be around and checking for at least until, well, constantly between tonight, which is Saturday night, and Sunday evening. I will respond quickly, but and I will respond, even into the week. But yeah, all I can say is good luck, good evening, and enjoy it. Okay, but get your papers in. Respond some kind of way. If you do not respond, that's automatic overpayment. It's sad to see 20-year-olds and they have negative balance of $20,000. You imagine being 20 years old, 21. If you imagine being a full grown adult and having that out of nowhere. Yeah. All right. Good evening, you guys. If you have questions, just ask. Bye bye.